By the time I came to my senses, the King of Darkness had already been captured. As the haze of unconsciousness lifted, the scene before me was one of utter chaos turned to jubilation. The once feared overlord, the tyrant who had held the world in his iron grip, was now bound in ethereal chains, his power siphoned off by the very artifact he sought to control. The streets of Eldoria were alive with celebration. Banners of light fluttered in the breeze, their ethereal glow a stark contrast to the shadow that had once engulfed the city. People danced and sang, their voices mingling to form a harmonious chorus that resonated through the cobblestone streets and into the hearts of all who heard it. The air was thick with the scent of fresh blooms, the flowers having sprung up overnight as if nature itself wished to participate in the festivities. In the midst of this revelry I stood, my mind awhirl with confusion and disbelief. How had this come to pass? Only hours before, I had been locked in combat with the King of Darkness's most fearsome generals, the outcome hanging perilously in the balance. A sudden surge of dark energy had sent me reeling, the world fading to black as I succumbed to oblivion. Now, as I regained my bearings, I realized that the tide had turned without me. The heroes of legend, a group of unlikely allies that I had only heard of in hushed whispers, had apparently descended upon the battlefield at the 11th hour. They were a motley crew, each hailing from a different corner of our fractured world, united by a common cause, to dethrone the tyrant and restore light to the land. At their head stood a young woman, her eyes alight with a fire that seemed to pierce the very soul. She wielded the celestial blade, a sword of myth that was said to have been forged in the heart of a dying star. With her companions at her side, a rogue blessed with the gift of shadows, a mage whose spells could weave the fabric of reality, and a warrior whose strength was the stuff of legends, they had infiltrated the Dark King's stronghold. The battle that ensued was one for the ages. The rogue slipped through the shadows, sowing discord among the enemy ranks. The mage's incantations tore through the veil of darkness, illuminating the path forward. The warrior's might was an unstoppable force, his blows echoing like thunder. And at the forefront of it all, the young woman with the celestial blade danced a deadly ballet, each strike a note in a symphony of destruction. As the King of Darkness fell, his dominion crumbled. The artifact that had granted him his terrible power, the obsidian heart, was shattered, its shards scattering to the winds. With the heart's destruction, the darkness that had suffocated the world began to dissipate, like mist before the morning sun. And so, as I stood there, coming to terms with a reality that had shifted beneath my feet, I realized that my own role in this tale had been but a small one. The true heroes were those who now stood before the cheering masses, their names chanted in a chorus of gratitude and awe. But this was not the end of our story. The King of Darkness may have been captured, the world may have been bathed in light once more, but the journey was far from over. The shattered obsidian heart held secrets, its shards keys to a mystery that stretched beyond the veil of this world. And as the heroes set forth to uncover the truth, I knew that my own path would intersect with theirs once more. For the world of Eldoria was vast, its legends many, and the manhwa of 2023 titled Release Continues promised that this tale was just the beginning. It was a story of light and darkness, of heroes and legends, and of a world reborn from the ashes of tyranny. And as the pages turned, the adventure would unfold, drawing in readers with the promise of magic, mystery, and the eternal struggle between the forces of light and dark.